Montana, you can have a good time. It's true. Oh, it's true.
Hi guys, my name is Shuangli. I'm a realtor in Charleston, South Carolina. This channel is my husband Noah. He's helping me do, all the speaking, and he's gonna introduce you about Charleston as a city, the overall landscapes and the culture and the people. Sometimes maybe food or restaurant, just the all around stuff. You can feel free to call me anytime. Happy to show you guys Charleston or the houses here.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into a useful topic, the cost of living in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina. If you're considering moving here or just curious about the expenses, this video is for you. So first, we're going to give an overview of Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston is a beautiful city, brimming with history and filled with variety. It's a popular destination for tourists and a desirable place to live. The diverse terrain of Charleston has something for everyone. We're going to start with housing costs. In order to look at housing costs, we need to understand the Charleston landscape. Let's take a quick look at the map and see how Charleston is broken up. We've got downtown Charleston, James Island, Johns Island, Wadmalaw, Folly Beach, Kiowa and Seabrook, Hollywood, West Ashley, Somerville, North Charleston, Moncks Corner, Goose Creek, Hanahan, Ladson, Daniel Island, Mount Pleasant, Sullivan's Island, Isle of Palms, and Awendaw. Downtown Charleston is bustling with businesses, restaurants, shopping, parks, private residences, music venues, and more. It's everything just cozily squished together in whatever way made sense at the time in the overall small area that downtown Charleston is. James Island has direct access to downtown via the Mark Clark Wapoo Creek Highway 30 bypass bridge, a mouthful. James Island has some of the nicest residences in Charleston, but also plenty of affordable options as well. It's a down-to-earth, diverse area, well-positioned to get around Charleston. Johns Island is more rural, but is up and coming. There's lots of development happening on Johns Island, and there really is an appeal and some neat restaurants and unique flavors of culture that you won't find in any other parts of town. Wadmalaw. Now we're getting even more rural. There are some new developments and other structures that haven't been renovated in decades. It's outside of the bustle of the city with some nice landscapes and some beautiful waterfront homes. Hollywood falls into a similar category as Wadmalaw, but it's a little closer to the city and a little more developed. Folly Beach is what you would imagine if you tried to envision a surf town in the 70s. They've stuck around and preserved a lot of the culture. Downtown Folly is full of restaurants and live music and life, and Folly has some great beachfront vacation homes. Kiowa and Seabrook are very upscale, gated communities about 40 minutes outside of Charleston to the south. Celebrities own homes in Kiowa. The only areas open to the public are Beach Walker Park, Freshfield Village, and Bohicket Marina, and they're all well worth checking out. West Ashley has direct access to downtown Charleston via the Ashley River Memorial Bridge. West Ashley is like James Island's slightly hipster cousin. There are a lot of unique areas within West Ashley, and Deep West Ashley has a lot of great middle-class neighborhoods. Somerville is its own city, but it still feels like an offshoot of Charleston. 45 minutes or so from Charleston, it's responsible for some very well-attended festivals and events, and it has a beautiful town square. North Charleston is home to some of the best food you'll find in Charleston, but also is notably the area you want to be a little more careful in. This is the lowest income part of town and also the more affordable housing options. Not without its merit, Park Circle is an up-and-coming, hip area, and new developments are popping up throughout. Ladson is the next step up from North Charleston. Monk's Corner, Hanahan, and Goose Creek all fall into a similar category for me. There's lots of new development in these areas and lots going on, but they seem to be very separate entities from Charleston and don't seem to have the same connection to Charleston that most other parts of town do. They're all just a little too far away to want to make the drive on the regular. Daniel Island is the upscale part of Charleston. It is its own place, and you never have to leave DI if you don't want. But it's very much part of Charleston and is about as prime a location as it gets. Mount Pleasant is the step down from Daniel Island. Lots of nice residential options here. It's a larger space. It's much more populated and much more traffic, but it's the hub of Charleston about as much as downtown is. It also has direct access to downtown via the awe-inspiring Ravenel Bridge, perhaps the single most important landmark of Charleston. Sullivan's Island is the beach community for locals. It's low-key in its own understated and upscale way. Isle of Palms is the touristy version of Sullivan's Island. There's a huge resort to the north end and a strip of great restaurants and venues in the middle. Awanda is the very rural area north of Mount Pleasant. It's not as far as I think folks think, and there's not a lot going on either. Still, there's some great development out in Awanda that is not to be overlooked. You can miss it if you don't look. Now, as you process this information as it relates to housing costs, let common sense be your guide. If I said upscale, it's expensive. Closer to downtown, higher price point. More rural, you get a discount. Less developed or low-income areas, lower prices. By the ocean, there's a premium. Utilities and home maintenance. I found it difficult to find reliable information on this, but my research indicates that the average cost of utilities, electric, water, and sewer in Charleston, South Carolina, is about 25% higher than the national average. Gas costs in Charleston are about 8% lower than the national average, and if you know your gas stations, it's even lower than that. Full coverage car insurance in Charleston is on average $1,532 annually versus a 2014 national average. Property tax in Charleston is 0.51% versus a national average of 1.11%. Average food cost per month is $411 in Charleston per month versus a national average of $355 per month. Average rent here is $1,935. The national average is $1,702. There is public transportation you can access from just about any part of town. Parking is relatively inexpensive, with downtown meters turning free at 6 p.m. and lots of street side 1 to 2 hours free on back streets. I do a lot of cycling. Cycling is an option, but the city isn't really designed for it, so cycle with caution. There are some bike lanes, even into inner West Ashley, but I think most people will find the traffic to be too fast to consider it safe. As far as food and grocery costs, there's a variety of options for quality or cost, trade-offs on groceries. Charleston has Whole Foods, Food Lion, Publix, Trader Joe's, Lowe's, Foods, Harris Teeter, Piggly Wiggly, and a variety of smaller local grocers all around. And it also has a large H&L Asian grocery in North Charleston. These days, it seems you're spending a $40 to $50 minimum for two to eat out, and there are ways to cook at home for $2 to $5 per meal. Healthcare insurance. Healthcare average in Charleston is $450 per month, and the national average is $550. Entertainment and lifestyle. There are a lot of entertainment options in Charleston with a range of costs. Mainstream concerts are about the same as far as I'm aware as they are anywhere, and there are a lot of great parks and recreation options that are very inexpensive. So I'd say it's pretty mixed. There are a lot of ways to enjoy yourself in Charleston for a very low price. Education and childcare expenses. Childcare costs are about 40% less than the national average. Taxes and local fees. South Carolina has a graduated individual income tax with rates ranging from 0% to 6.5%. South Carolina also has a flat 5% corporate income tax rate. Sales tax in Charleston comes out to 9%. I hope this helped you in your research and brainstorming about Charleston, South Carolina. If it did, do us a solid and hit that like button. Like all cities, it has its advantages and disadvantages. If you find yourself at all dwelling on Charleston in your mind, you owe it to yourself to make a trip and spend a few days taking it all in. It's a wonderful place, and even if you don't end up moving here, it's worth a visit. Don't hesitate to reach out. We'll be happy to offer recommendations for sites and activities. Subscribe for more helpful videos about Charleston real estate. And drop any questions in the comment section. Be happy to go through and answer any questions you have if you'd like me to dive into more detail about any of the information in this video. Thanks again for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one.